Can you make anything out of these notes, sorcerer?
Where did you get them?
Unimportant.
And you've no notion what's in them?
Wouldn't be asking if I did.
They describe a very dangerous ritual. Practically pure necromancy. The sort that gets you burned at the stake.
Be specific. What kind of ritual?
One to summon the soul of an evil man. A man evil enough to wander the world after death. Souls of this kind gladly enter into covenants in the hope of being sent into the beyond.
Why would anyone want to deal with evil?
The possible reasons are many. You'll always find people willing to sell their souls in exchange for something valuable to them. I'll gladly buy the scroll.
I thought necromancy was forbidden.
Oh, it is, but I'm an avid collector of manuscripts containing forbidden knowledge.
I think I'll keep it. Maybe I can become a collector myself.
Who do I spy if not the famed Geralt of Rivia?
You seem to know me, but I have no idea who you are.
And you're worse off for that, for I can make you even more famous.
You write ballads or something?
I've no notion of songs, but the king's vested me with the task of organising knightly tourneys. A swordmaster like you must be eager to show off his skills.
I'm interested in the Rotfiend contract. Know anything about it?
The scum has so far destroyed 2 convoys of army provisions. Before we arrived, they'd only attacked the local cattle. Since the mist appeared, they've grown bolder and started hunting our patrols. The lads from the company have collected a kitty. Sort it all out and the coin is yours. Tournaments. Now that's a pastime for real men.
All right, I'll take part in your tournament.
The king will be pleased. Just remember, this will not be a fight to the death.
I'll try not to forget.
Duels take place from noon to dusk. You'll find me by the arena then. Nightly tournaments are a pastime for real men.
Does King Henselt have any interests besides fighting?
We value knightly tradition in Kaedwen. Only duels in the arena let a knight stay in good form and hone his skills. Ready?
I am indeed.
Is there not a single fucking soul in Kaedwen able to beat the Witcher? Dung-filled cowards, all of you!
Apparently not in Kaedwen. But in Temeria, perhaps. I'll give it a shot.
That could be interesting. If you win, I'll double the reward. A few more like him and I could conquer half the world. Give him the prize! He's earned it!
The king wanted a spectacle and he got it. A shame the result was so predictable.
Witches are not invincible.
Seems this one is. But you were brave nonetheless.
She fought harder than all the Kaedweni soldiers combined.
You're very kind.
Wasn't so kind in the arena.
He took me seriously.
That's true.
Thanks for not giving me a handicap. I'm going back to my camp. Visit me if you want.
Women. Here's your praise. I need to get back to my business.
Thanks.
Greetings, Geralt.
Greetings, Vess. What news from the Blue Stripes?
They're keeping their eyes open, as always.
I wanted to thank you. That was a great fight.
The only great fights are those I win.
It's no dishonor to lose to a mutant created for swordsmanship.
If it wasn't a tournament but a battle, we wouldn't be speaking now.
You were better than all the knights of Kaedwen put together.
You're very kind.
I'm sincere. Henselt thinks he'll take Vergen easily.
A regular army will always win against a popular uprising. I know this. Henselt knows it. I don't understand why Saskia doesn't.
Maybe she'd rather die than surrender. Or she has a surprise in store for Henselt.
Possibly. Henselt keeps the precise plans of his campaign a secret.
Why haven't you set up in the Kaedweni camp? Information becomes more available the closer you get to the source.
Henselt doesn't trust us and I don't blame him. If not for this damn fog, we'd have moved even further south.
We've lost the assassin's trail.
The trail led us here. If it goes no further, the assassins must be in the vicinity. I see 2 possibilities. Either Henselt hired them, or he's their next target.
We'll find out soon enough. Could Henselt himself be behind the assassinations?
You don't think it's possible? Consider the Pontar Valley. Temeria, Kaedwen and Aedirn have been disputing it for generations. Only now, Temeria and Aedirn are kingless.
True. Henselt might profit from the deaths of Foltest and Demavend, but covert assassinations aren't his style.
I suppose you're right. The Kidweni king seems to love a good war. Just take a look around. Perhaps that's his ruse. When the cheese goes missing from the larder, no one thinks of blaming the cat.
What do you want?
How did you catch him?
We didn't. Nothing to boast of, really. We found him. Barely alive.
He was lying in the ravines among the corpses of other squirrels. Terrible bloodbath it was.
As if a mad medic slashed him with a giant scalpel. Aiming at their arteries, no less. For there was blood everywhere. Nasty splashes, even high up in the rocks.
When was this?
Before that ghastly fog appeared.
Get anything important out of him?
Not really. We salted his wounds, broke his fingers, scorched his feet. And he didn't so much as peep his own name. Tried to bite off his own tongue, in fact. Them elves like a bit of suffering, methinks.
Maybe he's hoping to be rescued.
Not likely. Someone massacred them. The whole unit. That's what the Royal Mages asked him about. Who it was and where they are now. There's no understanding elves. If he answered, we'd hang him quickly. It'd have peace. But he prefers to suffer.
Can I talk to him?
You're all right. I've heard you've been helping our lads. Talk away, but be quick. If the corporal sees you, he'll have your balls. And ours.
How did you wind up here?
Bloody fat girl. What do you want?
Information. You from Yorvith's unit?
I'm proud of it. Yorvith will avenge me.
Maybe. I'm responsible for you being captured.
I don't understand.
I warned Yorvith that the Kingslayer had betrayed him. Your leader's alive because of me.
You lie! You're not one of us.
Never claimed to be. I'm not interested in your fight, nor in that of the humans. I have my own goals. I'm hunting the Kingslayer and need information. Will you help me?
I'd rather not reveal anything to the Dwan. Do you know Elder speech? De Thurmen en Rendan Fest. Ev de Sale en Mes up de Mevne Slet.
Ser her.
En tel verleth och ken en stert dundar wert. Erte dreie ep Dwan. Seret en ox vat gern est. Denna Arthurneck wert. Visse ögen. Erle ögen. Ken hatner. Denna dar emendund. Dak mammert.
Ken denne de arme hest.
Denna neersela vid de sala in esne geërtj. Wanneer senden ert el.
Erte arme. Ne zeggen hier. Elle seram.
Mekian behent het fen esert. Seret neer ura jasenhet. Ert heb orks garpe seget en het rothen kem hest. Te ern mothe diarn.
Rathain. Que diables Rathain verderel.
Versen het rothen deren hensel gerel door de hen. Den diarme elestrea hen. Neer meer se herf.
We kelle elefene hest kem.
Nia me herf. Este verf. Ep kethen ken hest.
Quintes ken.
Den kean velt emer door wat gern.
We kean me denne tres.
En hert ep kianje esme get verf. Se este en kien e diable ep arskied. Ken jesse dit reas.
Mesem treachle. Vafel.
Quen erle wat gerne hennelinge kwen.
Nemme zegt.
Oxen en seret est elle kwen. Vel mert Gwynblade Kenneth Belk. Vedden emeth Gwynblade. Se de step gatis en tred winnes. Vafel. Oi, what you doing here?
Get out of the way. I need to inspect this area.
Be careful. They say stepping in the ashes brings bad luck.
Get us out of here, will you?
You came here on your own. You can get back on your own.
This place is crawling with drowners. I mean, we'd have stayed in our tents on our arses if we'd known. We're safe in the circle, but 3 feet outside, and who knows what would happen.
All right, we'll go back together, but let me look around first. Apparently it's bad luck to tread on the ashes. Strange aura. Let's take a closer look. Carved from a solid piece of stone. Reusable, you could say. Candles, amulets, coins. People make offerings here like they would at a shrine. Candles. The stench is worse than Zoltan's boots. Nothing unusual about them otherwise. Square coins adorned with a fish. I guess the plotters like to come here. Let's see. People seem to be staying away from the wheel. They're afraid. All the gifts are at a safe distance from it. Except for one person. With Kaedweni Army-issue boots. Glad to know I'm not the only one to desecrate this site. Animal tracks. Dogs, wolves, bears, even birds. You'd think this was a feeding ground, but they all fear the circle. Except for cats. Their tracks are everywhere. One even napped on the pedestal. Triss once told me cats like to sleep on intersections. And they're the only beasts apart from dragons who can draw the power. They clearly like this place. Sabrina was nailed to this wheel. Something protected the wheel from the flames. It's hardly scorched. Fresh holes and splinters. Someone's pulled nails from the wheel recently. I better take one, just in case. An unnatural stillness typical of intersections and places where streams of the power meet. Unnerving, but harmless. I need to bring the king here. I need to reenact the execution. If I can only summon Sabrina's ghost, I could force her to lift the curse. The Draugrs and the mist will remain, but at least the king will be safe. I need to know what happened here. Witnesses of the execution, they're the key. If I can just find out how Sabrina died, I should be able to free Henselt of the curse. 2 leads. Sabrina's cultists and the nail thief who's obviously immune to the aura of this place. Time to question some soldiers.
You've looked and touched your fill, right? Let's get out of here.
Did you light those candles?
We did.
What's it to you?
Burning them for Sabrina?
To you, 'tis a waste of time, right?
Feel their eyes on you. They're watching us. We won't get out alive, superstitious idiots that we are.
Don't you believe the visionary? You don't have to. But it was worth a try, right?
Old idiot. It's his fault we ended up here.
Who is this visionary?
He's behind all this. He talks of miracles in the circle.
I believe him. Know why? He lives deep in the valleys, but something protects him from all those harpies.
Did you see them burn the sorceress?
3 years ago. We both served under Henselt then, but only the 5th Company guarded the stake.
They say the king never wanted to make a spectacle. Some soldiers never come here, but others visit the circle to check the remains.
You're just like them. To you, it's only a superstition to make money from. You're looking for old nails in the ashes.
Like that shitbag who trades outside the inn.
You're mistaking me for someone else.
Really? Then give us the nail.
I'm keeping it.
Keeping it? Not heard what they say? Relics are like fist tech for simple folk.
How did you manage to avoid the drowners on your way here?
The visionary was with us. He led us through, then left.
I don't like this place.
Thought you'd want to stay the night here.
I know at least a few places I'd rather sleep. Come on.
Curses on him! If it wasn't for you, they'd have eaten us.
We owe you our lives, Witcher.
What do you want, Witcher?
The soldiers you were looking for, they got held up for a while at Sabrina's circle.
Oh, the idiots! To be duped by witchcraft and superstitions. I'll put them to scrubbing the latrines indefinitely. But I thank you for bringing them back. Your reward, as promised.
Did you participate in the battle?
I did, and I fought. But I'd rather not go into it.
The spirits of those who died in battle are now in combat on that field. They kill each other and change into nasty creatures called Draugrs. Edirnians, Kaedwenis, even your comrades. I want to help them, but I have to know what happened during the battle.
Oh, the plague. Listen then. The fighting started in the afternoon. The Dun Banner was first to attack. We were ambushed, cut off from our main unit and devastated. Bloody scouts and Sabrina Glevissig, who was supposed to mind the battlefield. By then, the battle was in full swing. Wherever you see those damned furrows, people fought there. The Edirnian lines faltered a few times, but we couldn't crush them because of Seltkirk. Yes, we had the Visitor. They had Seltkirk of Gullet, the invincible White Knight, Edirne's finest swordsman. Wherever our forces gained the upper hand, he'd appear and reverse the fighting's course. Then, Vandegrift himself went into battle. He met Seltkirk in the middle of the melee. It was a battle of titans. In the end, the Visitor hacked Seltkirk and sliced the White Knight from his head to his balls. Then, death fell from the heavens. Lumps of burning soil flew through the air. The whole valley was on fire. Damned magic of a damned witch. I owe my life to Priest Crest, our chaplain. He led me out of the battle and went back for the others. He had a medallion that protected him against fire. He led everyone out, including the Edirnians. But the flames got him in the end.
What happened before the battle?
We forded the Pontar on the third day after the autumn equinox. The Edirnians were waiting for us, formed up in a long line at the foot of those hills. I remember the banners of Vengerberg, Aldersburg, Gullet. Knights, armoured infantry, peasants, the Vergen Dwarf Regiment. All save the king. They numbered more than 5,000. General Vandegrift, commander of the Kaedwenis, had less than 4,000. Including the elite Bearheads, armoured troops from Ard Caraig, and the famous White Foxes of the North. And ourselves, the Dun Banner, veterans of Brenner, hated by the Edirnians more than the plague. But above all, we had Vandegrift the Visitor. Maybe he was a bastard, but he knew war like nobody else.
Do I have this right? You served in the Dun Banner?
Did indeed. Henselt's never commanded a fiercer group of warriors, and he never will. If not for us, there'd have been no victory for the North at Brenner. We carried the day.
I didn't see the Dun Banner in the camp.
And you won't. The unit's no more. Ensign Eckhart Hennessy carried the standard into battle for the last time 3 years ago.
Glevissig's magic?
Worse. The Edirnian troops, the bastards. The Dun Banner, the pride of Kaedwen, lost its standard and almost all its men. The Visitor refused to send us reinforcements when we were cut off. The Dun must prevail. It's been in worse shite than this. The Dun will be all right. 7 Edirnians to each one of us. We had no fucking hope. 200 men went into battle and less than 70 came back. But that's not all. Only a few survived to this day. The boys couldn't handle it. Suicide, firewater, fistek. A few became highwaymen. They ended up on the gallows or in ditches. Memories can also kill you, and soldiers don't always deal with them well.
I have to find that standard.
I heard it lies in the catacombs neath Vergen, alongside my mates. Hey, if you're thinking of going there, I ought to give you my beaver skin cap. That's its rightful place.
You mentioned the priest.
A really good man. He was with us the whole time, during the march, in the barracks, and in battle. Among common soldiers. Freya gave him a medallion to protect him from fire. I don't know how true that is, but he led me and many others to safety.
Who has this medallion?
King Henselt. I saw it once. I don't know how he got hold of it, but he definitely had it.
Were you at Brenna?
Ah, yes. Cut down more Black Ones there than anywhere else. The Redanians were in disarray on the left when we joined the battle. Same with the Temerian regiments in the middle. We arrived just in time. Menno Cohorn commanded the Nilfgaardians. He was some leader. Even we feared him like fire, but somehow we prevailed.
What happened to him afterwards?
He refused to flee, died like many others. No one knows who did it, and no one ever found his corpse.
Thanks, Civic. There's a soldier by the inn selling scraps from Sabrina's execution site.
I know. The damn quartermaster. This business of his muddles the minds of the soldiers. Suddenly, everyone believes a splinter in your pocket'll protect you in battle. Half-wits.
After what happened here 3 years ago, it's no surprise they're terrified.
I'll tell you one thing, Witcher. In combat, I can count on my shield, my armor, and my comrades, if they still live. Many of those boys will die in Vergen, even with their pockets stuffed with mystical splinters that cost a silver piece each. I want them to be afraid. When steel hits steel, I want them to be alert, damn it! If they're dumb and put their trust in rusty nails and ashes, they won't have a hope in hell.
I heard there's a man living outside the camp known as the Visionary. Ever met him?
The soldiers talk about him, but I've never seen him. If I ever do, he'll regret that he fooled my people with all those superstitions.
Did you see Sabrina's execution?
Wish I could have, but only the 5th Company was sent there. She deserved it. What she did to the boys. Believe me, I've seen a lot of monstrosities in my life. My brother died during a coup in Rind when a mage boiled the blood in his veins. Also, I once saw a soldier raping a dead elf woman. But 3 years ago, people melted like lead. Something you can't forget, Witcher.
From what I can see, you and the men love your king.
He's like a father to us, really. Comes around from time to time, chats it up, pats you on the mug. Remembers our names, too, though you gots to earn that in battle. Been so distinguished 3 times already. Pride myself on it.
I'm sure it's a great honor for a humble soldier like yourself.
Last time it happened, we was on the march. Some peasant poisoned his well. A few of our lads died, many others got sick. I pacified that village. We hit them so hard, we even struck fear into our own boys. They went without a row for 2 days, and the king was very pleased. He came around, gave me a friendly punch in the gut, laughed, and said, "You are one true son of a bitch. If you'd not been born among swine, you'd probably be king." That's how he is. Humane and all. He's really got a heart.
I'd like to play dice.
I haven't the time right now, but I'll be willing to test you if it turns out you're any good.
And how is that supposed to turn out?
Beat Fragile and Gondor, simple as that.
Greetings, Geralt.
I'd assumed that after killing the Kayran, the Pontar Valley would hold no further interest for you.
You know nothing about me, Witcher. I'm here because 2 northern monarchs were murdered. It's quite probable Henselt is next on the list. We don't need another country descending into chaos. King Henselt cannot die. I'll make sure of that.
Foltest's killer forced Triss to teleport him to Vergen. They're somewhere nearby.
That nosy little meddler Triss used my megascope to accomplish that. But I suppose I should be grateful. After all, I might have been the Kingslayer's victim. Even if Triss is in Vergen, I cannot locate her. This damn fog prevents any kind of magical probing.
A sorceress like you must know bundles about paranormal phenomena.
Any mage's knowledge has little to do with superstitions.
The Wild Hunt's no superstition.
Indeed, the phenomenon exists.
I want to know everything about it, including what you know.
You're out of luck. I've never concerned myself with it. I'm also not interested in whirlwinds or hailstorms.
It's pretty obvious you and Deathmold don't exactly get along.
Deathmold is an overgrown baby. A fine match for King Henselt. The problem is that he's as jealous as he is childish. He claims I wish to steal his position at the Kaedweni court. Nothing could be more absurd.
Spoken to the king yet?
Indeed, he was delighted to hear he can be cut from the curse.
Great, because I need the medallion of the priest known as Crest. I heard it's in Henselt's possession.
He'll give you nothing until you free him from the curse. Truthfully, I believe I understand him. You have a good chance of perishing when you confront the Draugrs.
Give me a break, Deathmold. The two of you are just afraid I'll leave this entire mess in your hands.
Ah, that is something I do not fear at all, for I know exactly why you're here. As for the king, you may curse him and scold him and call him a fool if you wish, though it's not something I would advise.
Learn anything new about the curse?
The mage on the other side of the fog is also probing the battlefield. A sorceress.
How do you know?
You shall know them by the fruit of their spells. Magic differs with the brain type that generates it. The female mind is simply laid out differently.
It could be Triss.
No, Witcher, it's someone far more powerful.
I need magic powder to mark out the runes.
Are you aware that the formula requires powdered camphor resin?
I am.
Then you must also know that the resin is extremely valuable.
Get Henselt to pay you. I need the powder to do the exorcism, reverse the prophecy, and release him from the curse.
You should have said, I'll give you as much as you need.
Thanks, on the king's behalf.
I've one more thing you might find useful.
What's that?
You asked me for protective runes. I've done better. Take this grimoire, which details many. I believe there's even one for syphilis. I've marked my recommendations.
Thanks. The sight of your camp must instill fear in your enemies' hearts. I'm certain the stench does.
Normal military conditions, which are boiling cabbage, stale sweat, and the smell of fear. They're constant companions in the expansion of any great empire.
Thanks for the history lesson. I take it you'll wait until the last minute to bring the remaining troops across.
Nothing sinks defenders' hearts more than steady increases in their enemies' ranks. Though I'll say these Vergen sons of bitches are worthy foes and won't flee so easily. It's good having a neighbor who knows how to fight.
I'm not sure the people of Edirn share that sentiment. Deathmold was kind enough to help me. I may be able to lift the curse sooner than I thought.
Details don't interest me. I expect results. That said, Master Geralt, what would you say to a long-term offer? Protection, for instance.
If it involves eliminating monsters, then yes.
That's perfect. My regal person is at all times threatened by potential monsters.
Not the same. I'm ill-suited to being a bodyguard.
You tread upon a slippery meadow, Witcher. Beware, it's strewn with the nastiest cow pies. I'm not one to be refused.
It would run counter to Witcher rules, Your Majesty. I don't meddle in politics. I agreed to lift the curse because that's a part of my profession.
And I usually get what I want.
I still refuse. I wouldn't feel comfortable doing it, and the bodyguard with moral dilemmas is not likely to provide the best protection.
Seems logical, though I'd even say it contains a hint of a threat. Congratulations, Witcher! You've managed to piss me off and entertain me at the same time.
Relics, artifacts, trinkets and talismans. Hallowed and highly valuable.
I found footprints at Sabrina's execution site. Do you know anything about that?
Why would I? You found them, not me.
Yet your boots are black from ash.
Shh. All right. What do you want to know?
Do you remember the sorceress Sabrina?
Same as all the others. Looked like a young nympho, but an old hag inside. You want to talk about her? See that freak who burns candles?
Do you remember the sorceress Sabrina?
Same as all the others.
Did you see Sabrina's execution?
Sure I did. I was in the 5th Company. I remember the commotion when that idiot Yahon killed her with a spear. If only I had that spear now.
Do you remember the curse that Sabrina placed on the king?
When they set the stake on fire, she shouted something to the king. His face went red, but I couldn't hear very well. She probably foretold his syphilis. A gruesome death.
Where's Yahon's spear now?
I don't know. Besides which, it's none of your concern. I simply won't talk about that.
You know Yahon?
Never heard of him. Where'd you get the idea that I know him?
I'm interested in objects that belong to the soldiers who perished in the battle 3 years ago. Not any old things. They have to be magically active. I know how to check.
That's not my speciality, Witcher. I deal in relics.
Got anything interesting there?
Ash from the stake where Sabrina burned. Nails that fastened the wheel of death. Splinters from the wheel. I've also got some metal parts and some of the martyr's garments. Whatever your heart desires.
Where did you get these things?
Trying to compete with me? It's too good a business to share with others.
Do you believe in the power of your merchandise?
You mean the relics? Others believe in them, that's what counts. They'll believe in anything that gives them hope. Soldiers shit their pants and throw up in fear before going into battle. If kissing a rusty nail gives them courage, then in my book, it works.
Over here! Inside... We're safe here. I awaited them. They were to come bearing gifts. I heard their cries. Guess they were attacked. If they're not here, they must be dead.
No, they're alive. They didn't want to risk it anymore, went back to camp. They asked me to give you this coin for candles.
This is but half. Why, I'll not do more than braid some wicks for this. What do you want from me? I'll not believe you came here by chance.
Yeah, you're right. I need to learn some things, and few are willing to talk. Sabrina Glevisig's story, that's what interests me most.
Listen, I'll not speak with you until I get my coin. Pure and simple. Though I do provide charitable help to the faithful, if you were to become one of them. Do you mock me? What's the idea? This is piddling.
I've heard a lot of good things about you. All right, I'll become a follower.
Wonderful. Listen then, for I'll not say this twice. If your intentions are pure, you will do as I ask. Each convert must pass a test. You will spend the night at the old chapel near Sabrina's pupils.
Where?
Twin Lakes I have named in her honor.
Is that all?
Before you kneel to meditate, you will drink the mixture I shall give you. You must then remember all that occurs. That's very important, as you'll need to recount it to me fully.
All right, I'll come back once I'm done. I'm too old for this.
Huh? What other matters?
I did what you asked.
Tell me what you saw.
You may think I'm as mad as you are, but in my vision I walked through a forest where the trees were huge mushrooms and a giant chicken walked between them, pecking at the underbrush.
You have no idea how happy I am. I've been having this vision of a giant hen among mammoth mushrooms for weeks. I thought I'd lost it, gone insane. Turns out my herbs must have gone off. I'll need to gather new ones, but that's my concern. Ask me what you will.
You must know a lot about Sabrina Glevisig's death.
Sabrina the Martyr left the world of the living to protect us all.
Did you hear about the curse Sabrina cast on the king?
Of course. A well-deserved punishment, a ghostly spell from her crimson lips. The king concocted a cruel fate for the sorceress, humiliated her, made her suffer the flames. Bound to a wheel and placed on the stake, she suffered in a way unimaginable to ordinary humans. But when the flame reached her maiden waist, not a single cry could be heard, only words foretelling King Henselt's imminent demise. Let a shooting star split the heavens and mark its mortal journey with a braid of blood. Let fools be duped by the sight of fish scales, turned by magic into square pieces of gold. Let the unicorn violate 1,000-year-old rules, prompting a just punishment. Sabrina suffered so badly that a merciful soldier ended her torment, thrusting his spear into her aching heart.
Any chance of finding that spear?
It was so long ago, Witcher. But I believe the spear went to another soldier. The bugger sells relics from Our Lady by the Camp Inn.
I know who you mean. Why the candles? What's the difference between Sabrina and other mages burned at the stake?
Others were strong in life. Her power bloomed when death wrapped its steely arms around her. She took the soldier who ended her suffering under her kind care. He never had to fear walking alone in the dark again. Have you seen the area? It's full of beasts and monstrosities. Jahan, the merciful soldier, has walked in the blaze of our power ever since. No creature born of darkness can get close to him.
Now, back to some other matters. Who are you?
Our descendants will decide who we were when they see what we've left behind.
Is Jahan still around?
Jahan is dead. He didn't deserve to bask in the glory of the Lady.
So Sabrina's mercy has limits.
You don't know what you're talking about, Witcher.
The valley's been engulfed by a battle of specters. Know anything about it?
It's a place of horror. You can still hear the sound of steel and the cries of the dying. If you want to soothe their pain, you have to believe that Sabrina is watching over you benevolently.
I won't achieve anything without some memory tokens. Magically active conduits left by those who fell in battle. They're supposed to symbolize faith, courage, hatred, and death.
Faith? I don't know what those soldiers believed, but their faith didn't help them. They were deceived. Courage, hatred, and death? There was too much of all of them, especially death. But I remember a knight who, ignoring the danger, led a handful of soldiers against overwhelming enemy forces. Seltkirk of Gullet, Demaven's champion. When Vandergrift's cohort cut him off from the rest of the army, he attacked the visitor fearlessly. If you're looking for a symbol of courage, find Seltkirk's armor.
Who were you before?
What does it matter? Let the sins of youth fade into oblivion. Look at the candlelight. Feel it, and you'll hear what it has to say to you.
I can't hear a thing.
Then you're not ready. But your time will come. You will then hear and understand. Trust me.
Why do you need so many candles? Why not build a campfire?
This is Sabrina's flame. Its light protects us and guides us soldiers every step.
Did you rob a convoy of wax sellers?
I make the candles myself. I give them to anyone looking for protection within the flame of courage.
Relics, artifacts, trinkets and talismans. Hallowed and highly valuable.
I know you have the spear Yahan used to pierce Sabrina's heart.
I told you about that, and I thought the old freak was trying to forget the sins of his past.
You know Yahan well?
He despises me now, but things used to be different. We were called up at the same time. We fought under Henselt together. But I managed somehow, while he hated it. Why did they send him to that ferocious battle? He was the worst dumbass in the entire army, but he outlived the best soldiers. Covered in shit, piss, snot and tears, and still he survived. He cracked when they burned Sabrina. A beautiful end to a fucking beautiful day. Then he went to the dogs. He pissed away all he had on drink. I was the fool who followed him and brought everything he pawned around the inns. That's how I got the spear.
I need that spear.
Tough luck, Witcher. I last saw it a few years back.
What happened to it?
Look how similar we are. You want knowledge, I want coin. And we both need help to get what we want.
How much?
What are your customary takings on a contract? I'll gladly accept but 1/2 of that.
The fate of your king depends on that spear.
All right, since you put it that way. You see, when Yahan lost his head for Sabrina, I bought the spear from the innkeeper. The donkey's ass pawned it in the inn. He drank like a fish. By then, Yahan had already hidden in the hills, where no one dares to venture. Some call him the Visionary, but in my book, he's just a nutter. Beats me why the beasts don't attack him. A fisherman who supplies the canteen said that some monsters hate the smell of fish oil. Yahan makes candles out of it.
What did you do with the spear?
Sorry to say, I lost it in a dice game. Shame, because today, it'd fetch a good price. I lost the spear to a soldier who later fought the squirrels in the forests of the Pontar Valley. He told me he'd used it to kill some Scoia'tael big shot. I heard the shaft cracked as if there'd been some fucking jousting tournament. The most interesting thing is, that big shot is still alive. I heard he's now with that vixen from Aedirn. Some frigging commander. Elves are weird creatures. Who knows, maybe he still has that spearhead.
Iorveth.
You know him.
I'll tell you for 100 orens.
Bah!
I think I know how to free the king from his curse.
Well then, let's get to work.
Can't do anything until I have the spear the soldier stabbed Sabrina with. Problem is, it's in the hands of a Scoia'tael commander named Iorveth.
I know this, Iorveth. Are you certain this is the spear?
Mm-hmm. I last saw him back in Flotsam.
Iorveth is in Vergen, Witcher, along with most of the Scoia'tael from the area. They've joined that peasant girl's insurgency.
Iorveth part of a peasant uprising? It doesn't make sense.
There's only one way to confirm or disprove it. You must cross to the other side of the mist. What of the other artifacts? Do you know them all now?
Not yet.
In that case, you must wait until you've learned everything before crossing. It's a dangerous voyage, not one to attempt twice, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, I'd say. I've got to get through the mist, or I can't lift the curse.
I shall supply the white flag when you set out as our emissary. The lass is reputedly honorable. She'll welcome you, invite you to a feast, and with a bit of luck, you may even plough her.
You're sick, Deathmold.
They say she's very pretty. Peasant girls not to your liking?
Not your concern.
In case the elves lack an understanding of diplomatic symbolism, please also take this armor. With His Majesty's blessing, I might add.
A king's concern can be boundless when his life depends on that of another.
I spent some time working on this recently. This little marvel will guide you through the fog and provide a measure of protection from the spectres.
Thanks.